Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. It was a beautiful day here in Hawaii. I hope it's been beautiful where you're at. Hopefully, if you're in those northern states, you're staying warm. And if you're in the southern states, you're out there playing some golf. Had a couple of... Last week was pretty good. This past week is a little rough. And let's do a recap of the Fia belt match on Sundays there at Moana Lua Golf Club. Obviously, I know I sound like a broken record. Joe P. retained the belt last week, and unfortunately, he had to forfeit it this week due to the fact that he and I were playing in the 4-ball tournament at Ted Makalena Golf Course this weekend. More on that in a second. It was not a good tournament for us, but more on that in a second. So I'm not sure who won the belt this past Sunday. I know Chris and Mark were playing, and of course Kavika and some of the other Samoan guys. So I'm not sure who won the belt. I haven't talked to anybody about it, but I'll find that out this week when I go back to work tomorrow. Beach Boys, we played Coral Creek last week. I did not have a very good round. Shot, I believe, 82, which was not good. I kind of blame it a little bit, not totally. I'm not making excuses, but I got an injury to my finger on my right hand, my ring finger on my right hand. I was cleaning up some palm fronds at the golf course, at the par 3 course where I work, and I reached down to grab one of them, and I didn't realize it, but they have these sharp, like, barbs that stick up from the bottom, like two or three rows or so. And I didn't see it, and I reached down real quick to grab it, and when I did, it jabbed me in my finger on the outside right side, and it broke off. Not only one, but a couple did. I was able to get one out, but the other one I couldn't get out, and I thought, well, maybe it'll work itself out. So I just continued to play golf, and it was sore, obviously, because I'm holding that. That's where I overlap with my grip. And so it was a little sore when I was playing, but I'm not using that as an excuse. I still swung the club, and you still got to get the ball in the hole. It doesn't matter, but it wasn't like I had a broken finger. But I just couldn't put anything together that day at Coral Creek, and ended up shooting an 82, and the money belt that Troy made for the four of us, me, him, Dan, and Shep, it's based on how much money you win from the guys and from the club that day. And I ended up losing the belt to Troy. Troy took the belt. So I know today they played at Hawaii Kai, but I did not play. A couple of reasons. My Jeep isn't starting for some reason. This weekend when I went to the 4-ball tournament, I met Joe at Moana Lua, and we carpooled over. I rode with him, but when I came back, my Jeep wouldn't start. So I ended up having to tow it back here to the house, and I was working on it today. So I didn't go play golf with those guys at Hawaii Kai today. Hawaii Kai's not in the best of shape, they said, but they ended up playing anyhow. So that was the recap for the Fia and the Beach Boys. Again, I've mentioned this in the past. If anybody wants to join the Beach Boys, you're more than welcome to come out and play with us. We play every Monday. You can find our information at beachboysgolfclub.org. There's a spot there if you want to contact us to join the club, or if you just want to come out and play as a guest and try it out and see if you like it. Please, by all means, come out and join us. We had a few guys join here the last couple of weeks, so yeah, just come out and join us. And if you like it, you can end up joining the club. It's a good club. We got a bunch of great guys. So the 4-ball tourney, first tournament of the Hawaii State Golf Association season. They are going to have their tournaments this year, with the exception, I know the military tournaments like the Hickam Invitational, Barbers Point Invitational, and the Army Invitational. I believe at this time they're all canceled. Now, I've been told that may change, but for right now, they've been canceled. So those tournaments will not be in the rotation for this season. for Hawaii State Golf. But we played the 4-ball tourney yesterday, Saturday. Joe P and I. Probably the worst that we have played in a while. Now, when I say the worst, Joe shot 74, 3 over par. I shot 77, 6 over par. But the score doesn't indicate how bad that was. Obviously, you have 2 guys and you're taking the best score out of each guy's ball. And, you want to be under par. We ended up shooting 2 under for the tournament. And the cut line was at 3. So we missed the cut by 1 stroke. I blame myself for that. I didn't play at all like I could have played and how I have played in the past in that tournament. Joe definitely did not play up to his usual play. But, here's a good point too. On hole 17, par 3, we're at 2 under. We have 2 holes left. We have to have a birdie on either 17 or 18 to get to 3. And no, we are at 1 under at that time. So we need to get 2 birdies to get to 3 under. And we thought the cut was going to be about 3 because they kept a live scoring. So you can see it on your phone. You can go to the score and leaderboard and see where you're at. So we figure what the score was. I think the guys that ended up winning it shot 9 under the first day. So we kind of knew we needed to be at like 3 under to make the cut. So on the last hole, or on 17, par 3, 139 yards, I think it was, Joe hits his tee shot, and he's just short right of the green, just off the green. I was in the cart trying to correct the electronic scoring with the scorecard because I had missed a hole. So I was sitting there trying to get it corrected while the other guys were hitting. And so Joe hit, and then I had to go hit, and I asked him what the distance was. He told me. So I reached into my bag, and I thought I grabbed my pitching wedge. It looked like a P, and it was in the spot where my pitching wedge normally is. So I grabbed it, and I went up, and I put it down on the ground, and I swung and hit, and the ball just flew way over the green. And Joe was like, "What did you hit?" And I go, "I hit pitching wedge." And I looked down, it was a 6-iron. My pitching wedge was in the 6-iron place slot, and my 6-iron was in the pitching wedge. But that just goes to show you got to pay attention to what you're doing. Obviously, I was preoccupied with getting that score right and everything, and didn't, double check to see what I was hitting. And I should have, and that cost us. Easily, I should have hit that green and possibly had a chance at birdie. But so I had 85 yards back to the green. I went over an 18, almost to 18 fairway, just past the tee box on 18, and had 86 yards back. And I hit it up, chipped down, and made bogey. Needless to say, last hole Joe pulled out and made birdie for us, which put us at 2 under, but not good enough to make the cut. So some of the worst golf that I think both of us have played. He even made the comment, "That's the worst I've seen you play." And so I said, yeah, I couldn't do anything. Normally, if one guy does good and the other guy does bad, it's okay. But when you both are doing bad, it's not good for this type of tournament. A best ball tournament, one of you has to do good on the hole. So we didn't, they call it ham and egging. We didn't ham and egg it very well. And like I said, the score does not indicate how bad we played. Somebody would say, "Oh, you shot 74, or he shot 74, you shot 77. Those are good scores, and not good enough in this tournament to make the cut or even to win, for sure." The next tournament coming up for the Hawaii State Golf Association is the Hawaii State Amateur. That's going to be March 11th through the 14th at Leilehua Golf Course. Yeah, great. Now that's another one. Oh, let me back up for a minute. On the 4-ball tournament, it was won by 2 of the younger guys, Peter Young and Tyler Ogawa. They shot 13 under to win. And I think they ended up winning by like 1 or 2 strokes against the next team. But anyhow, the Hawaii State Amateur, now I normally play in almost all of the Hawaii State Golf Association tournaments. And a guy that works there told me It was like a week ago or so. Hey, you playing the Hawaii State Am? I said, yeah. And he goes, well, then you better get signed up because it's filling up pretty quick. I said, okay, I will. So I was going to sign up. You have until the 15th to sign up. So I was going to sign up this Friday. So I'm at the tournament, the 4-ball tournament. And of course, that's the first tournament when all the guys that normally play tournaments see each other. So we're all talking, and they're like, Murph, you playing the 4-ball or the Hawaii State Am? I said, yeah. And he goes, and then I heard somebody go, oh, it's full. And I'm like, what do you mean it's full? Well, I thought I had asked this guy to hold me a spot, but apparently he couldn't do that. So I had to sign up for it and pay for it right then. So I signed up that day at the course. I went in and signed up, and I got put on a wait list. So we'll see. Hopefully I get in. It's really going to be horrible if I don't get in to get to play it, because then I am not going to earn any points towards the Senior Player of the Year award at the end of this year. So I need to get in and play these tournaments to get those points. But anyhow, that's the next tournament that is going to be coming up. And if you guys are interested in planning, if you're here and you're interested in playing any tournament golf, just go to the Hawaii State Golf Association website, and they have a schedule there of what tournaments are going to be coming up. So let's take a short break, and we'll talk about some PGA news. Hey guys, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you how. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Not only that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other sites. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Okay, welcome back. Let's get into some PGA news. Obviously, it's been a busy couple of weeks in the PGA. We'll start off with the tournaments. The Genesis Open at Riviera Country Club, February 18th through the 21st. That tournament was won by Max Homa, and he shot 12 under. It's his second victory on tour, and he won in a playoff against Tony Finau, which I thought Tony was going to end up pulling that and winning that tournament. He is such a good player. Another guy to keep an eye on is Viktor Hovland. In that tournament, he tied for 5th, but he also, in this past week's tournament at the Concession Club, the Workday Championship, the WGC event, he ended up finishing in the top 5 in that tournament also. So that's 2 top 5s in the last 2 tournaments this guy's played. I think he's going to end up winning a tournament this year. So that's one guy to keep an eye on. Viktor Hovland, he's a good player. I like him. Max Homa, he's a good player. He's a fan, or Chris Wright is a fan of his. Chris likes him a lot, and we were talking about him the other day at golf. He was telling me about his podcast and stuff, so I want to check that out. He's a pretty funny guy too. So anyhow, Max Homa, your winner at the Genesis Open at Riviera Country Club, where I've had the opportunity to play there one time. It's an awesome, great course. I loved it. This past week, February 28th through the 28th, you had the Puerto Rico Open at the Grand Reserve Country Club in Puerto Rico. Now, not only was that tournament going on, but you also had the WGC Workday Championship at the Concession Club in Florida, February 25th through the 28th. So in Puerto Rico, your winner was Brandon Grace, 19 under, with a 1-shot win over Jonathan Vegas. And it took him to make eagle on 17 and birdie 18 to pull that win out. At the Workday Championship, your winner, Colin Morikawa. I really like that guy. And he seemed to put it together a little bit better this week and made some putts. So he finished 18 under, which was 3 better than Viktor Hovland, Brooks Koepka, and Billy Herschel. So, like I said, Viktor Hovland, the guy to watch. Last 2 tournaments, he's finished in the top 5. But congrats to the winners. And the Next tournament up is the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. Your defending champion in that tournament is Tyrell Hatton. Now, the power rankings for that tournament, the guys they got picked to win, Rory is the favorite to win, and next in line is Reed, DeChambeau, Fitzpatrick, and Hatton. They round out the top 5 as the favored players to win based on this week's power rankings in the PGA. So we'll see what's going on. It'd be awesome if Rory won, and I really wouldn't be mad if Victor Hovland ended up winning that tournament. So we'll see what happens. You never know. Okay, let's take a short break and we'll be right back. This podcast is brought to you by Smart Boy Studios, the best studio and artist collective out of Ohio. Smart Boy Studios provides recording, mixing, and mastering services, as well as any other audio post-production you need. Smart Boy Entertainment artists Corey Gossett and JV Tree have a new EP out on November 20th, 5 Day Friends. The 6-song project explores the fun and friendly energy that these two artists have on a track together. With production from D-Swove, Vesta, and Ash, you can't help but to bob your head, tap your foot, and sing along. Head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, and any upcoming events. If you'd like to support Smart Boy Studios and their artists, visit threads.smartboystudios.com to check out their merch. They offer hoodies, hats, shirts, and more. All right, welcome back, everybody. A little more, obviously, we got to talk about Tiger Woods if we're going to talk about PGA golf. Obviously, by now, I'm sure everybody has heard Tiger had a pretty bad accident and was injured pretty bad in it. He ended up with open fractures to his tibia and fibia on his right leg, and also some damage to his ankle. So he had surgery, and it was a single car rollover. He was the only one involved, and he had surgery. They put rods, screws, and pins in. So he's going to have a long road to hoe to get back into shape. I mean, knowing firsthand, I had an open fracture to my tibia fibia back in 1986. I didn't have any hardware put in my leg, but it healed naturally. A little crooked, and I had issues with it all the way up till I got my knee replaced this past 2 years ago. So it's not an easy injury to come back from. I mean, when I had my injury, I was still able to walk and run, and I still played basketball, softball, football. I still played all the sports, but it does take some wear and tear on your knee if you are not repaired correctly, to use a simple word. And obviously it's Tiger Woods. He's going to have the best care, and they're going to do the best they can to get him back into tip-top shape. But you never know. Kind of looks good for my bet that I made with my buddy Nordy, whether or not he's going to win another tournament in the next 38 tournaments. But I wouldn't want. I feel bad for Tiger. I wouldn't want him to be injured in order for me to win that bet. Obviously, I am a fan of his. So thoughts and prayers for Tiger. Hopefully he gets healed up and he's back out there and competes again someday. That was a discussion we had the other night about whether or not Tiger would ever play golf again. You just never know. It's too early to tell if he'll ever play competitively. When I say competitive, I'm talking about in a tournament, not just going out and playing golf with his son or something like that. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully he gets better. It's a sad thing, though. It was kind of ironic. I don't know if you guys saw the coverage on the Golf Channel, the news or anything, but they were showing the debris on the road. Like they had his license plate circled and it said LIC. They wrote on there, on the road. They had different things circled and everything, and then they showed the sign of the I don't know, estate of the grounds or whatever where he crashed, and on the sign it said Rolling Hills Estates, which I thought kind of was ironic. He rolled his car at the Rolling Hills Estate. So, and I just read something the other day too, that they're saying like maybe it's possible that the city could be responsible because they knew that stretch of road is pretty dangerous. I guess they've had several accidents on that road. I don't know. I don't know how you would prove that in court, that not every single person is wrecking going down that road. So obviously it's people that make some type of mistakes, and who knows, it hasn't come out. There's not been any word. My buddy, he asked me, oh, hey, what do you think of when you first heard about Tiger's wreck? What did you think? And to be honest with you, I probably shouldn't, but I thought, was he on some type of medication? He just had back surgery. And when he had that last incident that happened, he was on medications. So I thought, man, is he on medication again? Because like I said, he had back surgery. That's what I thought. Not that I thought I don't think he's some drug addict or whatever, but I know he just had surgery. So that's what made me think of it. And my buddy was like, yeah, that's pretty bad that we think that way, right? And I go, no, I mean, he just had surgery. So why would you not think that it was possibly medicated related? I mean, I didn't think he was drunk. I didn't think he had been drinking alcohol or anything. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes out. A couple of people thought maybe he was texting and driving, or that he fell asleep. I guess he was on his way to the Rolling Hills Golf Club. He was going to do a photo shoot with Drew Brees and Bobby Hebert, the two quarterbacks in the NFL. So, who knows? But anyhow, Tiger, we're praying for you. I know you're not listening to this, but we are praying for you and hope we get back out there and play some more golf. So we'll see what happens. It's been a kind of a rough weekend. Like I said, the Jeep, I don't know what it is with that thing, man. It's got a new battery. It's got a new alternator. And like I said, when I went over to the golf course and you got to ride with Joe to Macalena and came back, it just wouldn't start. So we pushed it over. I threw the battery charger on it, left it on there all night, came back the next day, nothing. Still wouldn't start. Tried jumping it. Clicks, but it won't start. So I'm going to have it taken over to my mechanic and see if he can figure out I'm sure he will. He's a really good guy, Danny Ha. And so we'll see what happens. But so I was going through the analytics for the podcast, and it's pretty amazing that you guys take your time out of your day or your night to tune in and listen to me blab on about stuff. But I mean, it was surprising to see that obviously, you got listeners in the United States, but also Germany, Australia, Russia, United Kingdom, Singapore, Ireland, Japan, and Brazil. It's amazing that so many people from around the world are tuning in and listen to me blab on about stuff. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to bring content to you guys. And if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, or if you have any questions about anything, please shoot me an email at murphsplace808@gmail.com and let me know. It doesn't necessarily even have to be about golf, but obviously that's what this podcast is mainly about. It could be something that you have a question about golf, or maybe it's not even about golf. But please shoot me an email and let me know. And we'll get them answered or talked about, especially any topics. And if you'd like to support the podcast, and by the way, I appreciate those that do support the podcast, you can just go to the Anchor website, and there's a spot there that you can click on for supporting the podcast so I can continue to bring content to you guys. And hopefully someday, maybe soon, I'll get this on video too. So I've uploaded the stuff to YouTube, the audio stuff. So you can actually go to YouTube and listen to it also. But, well, I hope everybody has had a great day, a great week. I hope you guys are staying safe. Hopefully this COVID stuff, they're starting to ease up on some of the stuff. And we're now in Hawaii, we're in tier 3. So it's getting better. So I hope you guys stay safe. And if you're playing golf, and hopefully you are, it's not too cold where you're at. Unfortunately, my brother's not being able to play because of the weather, but, you know, just work on that core, Mike. Just work on that core stuff. Anyhow, if you guys are playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them often. Aloha, everybody.